I'm gonna start that over.
No, I didn't even know where you wanted me to go.
Yeah, when I move this.
I got you. Yo, this is Adam Leon Jenkins III, and you're looking at Hoodlum Entertainment. Super grateful of the opportunity to be able to talk to him. If you want any of the shit to blow in your creative, you gotta come here, man. Log in on some streaming company's website, because I'm not gonna give anybody any type of shine that ain't paying me. But but if I log into one of these streaming sites and I see, new R&B artist, new whatever artist, and I'm like, really? That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Because this music thing is nothing but interpretation. You can listen to my songs and be like, oh, he's a rap artist. And then somebody all the way over there can be like, oh, he's a pop artist. And then somebody, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what's happening with somebody like Post Malone. Like, right. He's pop, he's R&B, he's rap, he's, what is he? You know,
he's an artist, man.
You know what I'm saying? He's just an artist, bro. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So I would never, I have to let the record say, I am not a rapper, like, at all, bro. I wear socks and sandals and like jeans, dog. Yeah. Like, I'm not a rapper at all, but I do make things, and I definitely have the heart of an artist. So, no, I wouldn't be mad at whatever box they put me in, because I just understand that's the game, you know.
Yes, understand. I like it. And for example, right now, are you right now?
Yeah.
I'm gonna slip up underneath me. All right. Even with the feedback you received so far with the project, have you taken some of that into consideration with what you're trying to put out upcoming? And is it positive feedback? Like, what have you received that was like outlandish? Maybe like, oh, it really did this for you, this project? Okay, that was nice. Like,
I've received a lot of cool words. I mean, it was really cool to like put it out and then like see like blogs and like people around, even like people in the country and even folks across seas and stuff, like people in Europe just like, yo, this is sick. The one thing that I've always prided about like the Tyler, the Creators of the world, or the Kanyes of the world, and I know he be on some whatever sometimes, but the one thing with their art anyways is that they always reinvent themselves. Like, if you listen to all of their records, none of them sound the same. It's almost like they create their own eras. You know what I'm saying? So the next thing that I do, I've already been writing for it before we even put this out. It won't sound anything like what I'm doing now. Like, that was just like a one-off. Like, it'll be a lot more, I don't want to put too much out, but it'll just be different. Like, people would just be like, oh, he's here now. Like, that's basically, that's basically like the way it's gonna go. Like, and that's how it's always gonna go. Like, and I fought the whole like single and project thing, but I would rather put a project out so that you could, like, people like you can come here and be like, this one song was cool, and I like that, so I went and listened to the other ones. Because if I have a single out, it's like, if you listen to my single and you keep listening to it, and then a week goes past and you're like, this is a good song, but this person has nothing else out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because the listener does get tired very quickly, and like with music and like the way we digest music too, you got to come out with, basically musicians got to move like drug dealers, bro. Like, you got to be serving everybody 24/7. Even with this content shit, it only take a couple days for a nigga to be like, oh, he ain't post nothing, I'm on to the next. You feel me? Like, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that sucks. I always like that. All right. And even like you said with the recognition that the project has received, do you think you would have received that recognition if it was strictly to just rap, or strictly to just, this sound rock or this and that? Do you believe that?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I think everything played out the way it was supposed to go. And because everything was timing too, by the way. Like, I want to be completely transparent about what I'm saying, because so many times we get people who come on here and they don't really give the blueprint. Because like, I want to see other people who are different and other great creators empower themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not just in the game to shoot your jump shot. You know what I mean? So after we had the songs recorded in 2017, like late 2017. It was postponed. One, the demo actually sounded completely different. I went through some things from a mental aspect where I just had to take a break. And mental health is a big thing for me. Like it's something that I really champion, and I want people to take care of their mental wellness. I don't like to say illness. I like to say wellness. I don't like to speak certain things into existence. And so when I got back, and like I got back from my break, from my mental health break, it was just like the song sounded drastically different to me. You know what I'm saying? Like from when I went through what I went through, and when I got back. And one day I'll divulge even more further on. But so we redid the whole thing. Like I redid the whole thing. Like every single beat, every song, we just did all the way over. I don't even know what the other tracks are actually. They might be in my Google Drive. And so after we got done with them, we let some people into the studio, and they came over, and I'm talking like everybody was bopping. Like everybody was like, bro, this is cool. Like this is just cool, and it's unique and it's different. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I feel you, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But knowing the climate of Savannah at the time, I was like, I don't think that staying here will benefit the art. Like I have to be somewhere where more diverse minds are, and just a bigger creative melting pot, and just even more networking opportunities, and being able to move around a bit easier and do business. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to, just that 4-hour drive down here is just a lot to just keep doing. Like so I was like, I have to be in a creative hub. So we actually held on to the songs from 2017 all the way until when y'all heard them. So in between that time, that's when we started adding bits and pieces on to the music, and I was sending things I wanted to chop up off of YouTube. I would just be up at night, like listening to stuff. It'd be like Gundam Wing samples, or like Naruto Shippuden samples, or like old Jamie Foxx show stuff. And I was just like, yo, Mike, chop this up, put this here, and do this right here. And I was like, Jimi Hendrix interview from '69 about the flag. Like, if you hear the music, the Kaepernick stuff was happening at that time, but like we put the Jimi Hendrix interview there for that reason. People don't know like what type of thinking kind of goes behind it, so we were chopping everything up, and so we got done, and then it sounded drastically different. It added a whole nother universe to the music. Like the sampling is such an old art, and I wanted to go back to something that was nostalgic, like mid 2000s type. You know what I'm saying? It brings back that like graduation, college dropout type vibe. And no one's doing it, like no one's really sampling music like that, by the way. Only but like OGs and legends who've already kind of stamped their name in the game. You know what I'm saying? No one on the come up really like chopping stuff and doing. So we did that, and after that had happened, I was like, I just need some help to put it out. And what happened was these really cool dudes up in New York. We found these guys on Google actually, and these dudes up in New York grabbed a hold of our stuff and were like, dude, we want to help you like push this as much as we can. We just believe in like what you got going on. And so I was like, all right. And sure enough, literally it happened. Like that was it. Like put the song out. We put out Do You Go to Scab First on a Friday. I can't even remember which Friday it was. Bro, I woke up the next day and I see like 4,000, 5,000 plays on this song. I'm like, this is crazy. Like I was like, this is pretty crazy. Mm-hmm. And the day we shared it, like even on Facebook and on like my Instagram and stuff, everybody was sharing who were all my friends and stuff like that. People who weren't even friends with me, who were just friends with them, were like, bro, this is a bop. I'm getting like messages on my thing like, bro, you rap now? Like, what? Like, you were just like screaming and singing and playing guitar last year. Like, people were like, bro, like, what? And it sounds good too. I was like, thanks, man. Like, it was scary though, because I was like, I don't know if people knew what was coming, because between that whole time of me being like dead silent, I didn't have anything else out. And people would ask me, like, people who used to work, I had friends who would like work for Connect Savannah and like Savannah Morning News and like all the like publications around Savannah, Savannah Magazine. We made a lot of connections just from Between Symmetries, the old band, where I'd have like editors and writers who loved that so much they would always keep up with me. You see what I'm saying? Like sometimes as an artist, you don't really know what type of foundation you're laying. So like, looking back at it after we broke up in Between Symmetries, I thought like, oh man, like I don't know what I'm like I'm gonna bust another move, but like I wasted a bunch of time, and it was like 2 years of me just, but I was like, no, like I was actually like making somewhat of like a fan base. Like and I don't even want to call them fans, but just like a support system. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even like that word, but yeah, a support system. And it was like people who were keeping up with me. So I thought like after we were done, I would have to start over and stuff. And it was like, no, people were still like, hey, what are you working on? And the only thing I could tell them at the time was, you'll see. Because I knew we couldn't put it out in Savannah. I was like, I'm not gonna put it out here. Like, no shade against it, but, and so yeah, like that's just basically how it all worked out. Like, and it's been a pretty dope ride, man, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, it's been pretty cool, like to see, in the grand scheme of like, my music's only been out for a month and I'm sitting here talking with you right now.
Right, yeah.
It seems pretty cool, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I like it. So, do you even have a favorite song off the project, or is you just like it as a whole as itself?
So my favorite song is 11 a.m. on Sunday, I think. I think that's probably my favorite song, just because I made that song because me, my soon to be fiance and my mom, we would go to church a lot on Sundays like at 11. And then like we had to meet my mom at church. And so that song to me is kind of like preaching in a way. Like I'm trying to like, there's many voices going on, and that was one thing that I kind of, after recording, I played back, because none of this stuff was really like, I think like when you're in the song making moment, you just have to be like 100% open to anything. And then you play back and listen to your like realness and your rawness. And so all the voice changes and all the music and stuff like that, and like the cadences and stuff, they were definitely like in the moment. Like just cause like I was like, this would sound cool right here. And so for 11 a.m. on Sunday, it's almost like you're hearing a preacher preaching to someone, and then in the second verse, you have me talking about like, oh, I don't want to hear none of that, like run them pockets. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's just kind of how it is, yeah.
I like it.